A number of studies provide substantial evidence of an innate human disposition to respond differently to social stimuli. From birth, infants will orient preferentially toward the human face and voice, seeming to know that such stimuli are particularly meaningful for them. Moreover, they register this connection activity, imitating a variety of fashionable gestures that are presented to them. Tongue protrusion, lifting, tanning, mouth opening. They will even try to match gesture which they have some difficulty experiment with their own face until they succeed. When they do success, they show pleasure by a brightening of their eyes. When they fail, they show distress. In other words, they not only have an innate capacity for matching their own kinesthetically experience bodily movement with those of others that are visually perceived, they have an innate drive to do so. That is, they seem to have an innate drive to imitate others whom they judge to be like me. A good way to make human-machine interaction more natural would be to develop a better metaphor. A computer metaphor is a familiar object or activity that your computer imitates with its commands, display, arrangement, and behaviors. The two main metaphors we have today are the desktop and the browser. In the desktop metaphor, the display screen mimics a typical desk. Information is kept inside folders, which can be opened, closed, and slipped into other folders. With web browsing, the metaphor is downtown window shopping. You gaze at various storefronts, see only you like, and you enter. Inside, there are more options to browse. You choose another, and again you enter. Like a linguistic metaphor, the power of a good computer metaphor is that it makes a new system you don't know behave like an old system which you are familiar. This lets you use the new system and get useful results out of it easily, since you don't have to struggle learning new concept and command. Human activity on the landscape can significantly contribute to soil erosion. In a natural state, vegetation serves as natural protection against erosion because the network of roots helps hold the oil in place against various erosive forces, such as wind and water. Scientists estimate that in the United States, 30% of erosion is due to natural force and 70% is due to human effect. Oftentimes, when people use the land of farming, the protective covering of natural vegetation is destroyed, and the erosion process speeds up. In fact, studies have shown that artificially created erosion played a big part in the downfall of many early civilizations. Poor land management practices degrade the soil until it was no longer productive enough to support the population living in the area. Early civilization that recognized the disastrous effect of erosion used devices such as terracing the land to keep from plowing, planting, and irrigating on hillside slope which water could wash the dirty soil away. It used to be thought the Netherlands were dim with slouching cavemen completely covered with hair, but this reputation is based on just one fossil, which modern scholarship has provided happened to be that of an old, diseased, and injured man. He was approximately 40 or 45 years old when he died, very old for people at the time. Healthy Netherlands probably walked Aroc objects were found at Netherlands site showed that Netherlands could make complex tool. The characteristics of their skull suggests that they probably could speak, although perhaps not with the full range of sound that modern humans make. Sight also showed that they did not necessarily live in caves, but if they did, they likely altered the caves to make them more livable. Sometimes they built shelters rather than settle in caves. In 1996, scientists digging at the Netherlar site in Slovenia announced they had found what appeared to be a musical instrument, a flute made from a bear bone. Discrimination occurs on two levels: institutional and individual. On the institutional level, discriminatory practices are embedded in the social structure of a society, whereas on the individual level, discrimination takes place during directly interacting among individuals or groups. Unlike individual discrimination, which tends to be overt, intentional and direct, institutional discrimination is often covert and unintentional, and this invisibility makes them much harder to detect. Standards testing in schools, for example, may exclude certain historical marginalized groups from succeeding in academic setting, although the government may not have intentionally established testing standards that are culturally or class biased. In practice, these standards tend to have a disproportionate negative effect on ethnic minority students. Furthermore, institutional discrimination often has a general or cyclical impact on certain ethnic minority groups, and therefore its consequences are as sharp, if not more so, than for those suffering individual discrimination.